Philadelphia, city of brotherly love, a motto that seems to have been lacking somewhat towards the Jewish community here lately.
Very large headstones have been pushed over. You've seen some of them have broken.
In the Mount Carmel Cemetery, a historic burial ground dating from 1890, more than 100 Jewish gravestones were toppled in February, left lying on the ground. It's not just Philadelphia. In the Midwest, these Jewish headstones near St. Louis, Missouri were attacked in a similar way. And almost daily now, across the country, there are reports of telephone threats made against Jewish community centers, old people's homes and schools. This is the ancient Mount Carmel Cemetery, and as you can see, these headstones all around me are down. The authorities in Philadelphia say there's no way this was done by the weather or by wild animals. These graves were wrecked deliberately. When the gravestones were upended in Philadelphia, the city's mayor, Jim Kenney, said in a written statement, "My heart breaks for the families who found their loved ones' headstones toppled. Hate is not permissible in Philadelphia." After attacks in New York State, the mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, met Jewish leaders in a show of solidarity and said he's never seen anything like it.
And this is a very troubling reality. This is a moment in time, a moment in history where forces of hate have been unleashed. And it is exceedingly unsettling.
The FBI is investigating but can't say for sure who's behind the nationwide cemetery attacks and telephone bomb threats. Naomi Adler is CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia. She jokes with me that she's really the mayor for Jews who live in Philly. But there's no laughing when it comes to the vandalism and telephone threats. She says it's very frightening because for many Jews it evokes memories of the Holocaust.
Immediately you have this feeling of, what's next? There has to be something next. And then, of course, when there is, it's even more anxiety-provoking, not only for the individual, but the entire community.
In the current highly charged political climate, many blame U.S. President Donald Trump for not tamping down hate speech among his supporters during the long election campaign. The president has spoken out against anti-Semitic attacks and used the opening moments of his first address to a joint session of Congress last month to highlight the problem.
Recent threats targeting Jewish community centers and vandalism of Jewish cemeteries remind us that while we may be a nation divided on policies, we are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms.
Naomi Adler says the issue goes way beyond the president and the harsh rhetoric of the election campaign.
I don't blame any elected official or any particular leader. I blame an entire society that a few years ago started to use social media as an anonymous way to threaten people. I myself have been the target of tweets that are incredibly nasty, rude, and very frightening to me and my family. But this anonymity, it allows people to spew hate in a way where they know they're probably not going to get caught.
It's a sentiment shared by the head of the local Anti-Defamation League, which put up $10,000 immediately, and which other groups have more than matched, for information leading to the arrest of whoever's behind the cemetery damage and the bomb threats.
We certainly do not think that Mr. Trump, President Trump, is an anti-Semite. No one has ever said that from our organization, nor do we believe it. But what we do believe is that the administration needs to be a stronger voice when it comes to these kind of situations.
The ADL has a list of priorities for the Trump administration it says would help to bring the temperature down.
Actions speak much louder than words, so let's get federal agencies together in a united team to look at these issues to combat this kind of hatred. Let's get anti-bias education in our schools for our children. Let's make sure our police officers are properly trained in hate crimes so that they can deal with the communities. And let's make sure that we're looking nationally at the problems of hatred online and addressing them.
While the authorities investigate the attacks and threats against the Jewish community as hate crimes, for those directly targeted, the pain of knowing that they and even their deceased relatives are targets is unlikely to fade anytime soon. John Terrett, CGTN, Philadelphia.